Welcome to How to Start a Website 2.0. You can find the blog article that goes with this session at howtostartawebsite2.com/security. Alright, so in this video we're going to start diving into the WordPress dashboard. Now, if you came directly from the last video where you did a one-click install, I think in that video I had quickly showed you what your website looked like without having done anything with it yet. And it was this bright orange circular type thing, and that's what it looked like prior to WordPress 3.8 and their updated themes for 2014. But now we're going to redo all these videos using the latest stuff. So I am inside my WordPress dashboard right now, and this is what it looks like if you have version 3.8 or newer. And if this is not what your dashboard looks like, you may need to update, and you can find that video at howtostartawebsite2.com/update WordPress, and that will help you get you up to date if this is not what you're seeing when you're inside your dashboard. So now if we take a look at our website, this is what it looks like generic out of the box now for 2014. I'm not exactly sure that they improved much over the big orange thing that used to be there for last year. But this is what they have now. So now if you need help logging into your dashboard for the first time, you would just type in the URL that you purchased, followed by WP-admin, and that would bring up the login box, and you would put in your username and your password that you selected when we were doing the one-click install, and that will get you into your dashboard. So let's go back to the dashboard, and before we get into all of the nitty-gritty settings of our dashboard, what I like doing first is securing WordPress. WordPress does have some known vulnerabilities, and it's always best to lock those down first before we get any content on here, because we don't want people coming in and hijacking your site before you can even get started and destroying all your hard work. So we're going to install a couple of plugins to do that, and they're free plugins. And if you just come over to your dashboard and hover over plugins, we're going to do add new. The security plugin that I like to use is called Better WP Security, and we can search for that by name and then search plugins. And it'll be right at the very top, since we did search for it by name. If you weren't sure what the exact name was, you can search for plugins by their functionality, and it'll come up with a list. But this is the one I recommend using. And we can just come to install now and click, and then it asks, are you sure you want to install this plugin? And you can click OK. Okay, so it's going to download, it's going to unpack, it's going to install, and then it's going to ask you to activate the plugin, and you just come over and click that link. Okay, so now you can see the Better WordPress Security is now added to our list of plugins. And to start setting this up, if you come over to the dashboard along the left-hand side, you'll see that security has been added to the list, and this corresponds directly to this plugin. So if you hover over security and click, it'll bring up all the settings that that we can do. Now, the first thing it's going to ask you is to create a database backup. So it's going to be making some changes in the core files of WordPress. I've never had any issues with it messing anything up, but basically they're saying that there is that possibility, and they're asking you to create a database backup before continuing. So you just create this, just click this button, and it's going to send it to that email address that's listed above there. Okay, and then it'll bring you over to all of the various settings that we can go through. And then they do have a one-click protection, which is really nice. It's going to do all of the basic across the board security settings for you, which is really nice. So we're going to just click Secure My Site from Basic Attacks, and boom, there is all of the things that it went through and set for you. Now they have a code down here at the bottom, a code chart that tells you just how secure each of these items are. Green means that it's fully secured. There's nothing else you need to do. Orange means it's partially secured. Red means it's not secured at all. And blue means it's not fully secured, but it may conflict with certain themes and plugins if you take the settings any further. So they're kind of giving you a word of caution as to whether or not you want to take the security any further on the items that are in blue. So I'm going to start right at the top of the list. It's asking, they're saying you are enforcing strong passwords, but not for all users, and you can click to fix that. So strong password tweaks. Enable strong password enforcement. We have that clicked, but we're only enforcing it on the administrator. So if we want to lock that down further, we could do it for the editor, the author, the contributor, or all the way down to the subscriber. And this is, making the assumption that you're going to allow people to register directly to your website. You may not want to do that, and I'll get into the settings later as to where you can change those settings. But if you're going to allow just anybody to register for your site, it's up to you as to whether or not you want to force them to use a really strong password so nobody can maybe hack their password to gain some kind of access to the dashboard. Now, as a subscriber has very, very little access to begin with. There's not really much of anything that they can do, even if they are a subscriber. But again, it's up to you how far you want to enforce strong passwords. I'm going to take it all the way down to subscriber and save changes. All right, so now if I go back to the dashboard, you'll see that the top line is now green because it is fully secured. Line 2, your WordPress header is still revealing some information to users, but it's blue, so they don't recommend that you take it any further because it may cause conflict, so I'm going to leave it alone. Number 3 and number 4 are fully green, so there's nothing else we need to do there. Number 5, we have a user with ID 1. That's a known vulnerability, so we want to get rid of that. So we're going to click here to change user 1's ID. Okay, and then we'll come down here and click the blue button that says change user 1 ID. And if we go back to the dashboard, you'll see that that is now green as well. 6 is green, 7 is blue, so we're not going to take that any further. Number 8, your WordPress admin area is available 24/7. Do you really update it 24 hours a day? I don't see any benefit to disabling your login box. You never know when you're going to be able to access your site. But if you wanted to disable it for certain hours of the day or certain days of the week, you could go in and make some changes. But I'm gonna leave it go. I'm gonna let it stay as not fully secured. Okay, and you are not blocking known bad hosts and agents with hackrepair.com's blacklist. Again, that's personal preference as to whether or not you want to go ahead and block all of those particular IP addresses. And if you click here to fix, you can enable a default banned list by checking this box and then clicking the blue button to add host and agent blacklist. If we scroll down, there is also a place where if you know there are particular IP addresses that you want to block, you can add them here as well. And same with user agents. You could add those there. And we can save changes. Now we go back to our dashboard. You see that that is now green and fully secured. 10 is green, so we're fine there. 11 is blue and 12 is blue. Again, these are things that it could cause problems if you take the security any further, so I'm going to leave them alone. 13 is green. Now 14 is red. Your installation is not actively looking for changed files. Now, if you have your website fully up and running, and you know you're only going to be changing things maybe once or twice a month, you may want to enable this so that if there's all kinds of activity that's kind of out of the ordinary, you're made aware of that. But right now, since we're building the site, we're going to be constantly changing files numerous times a day. So there's no reason to make any changes here now. You can go ahead and leave that one red. So let's scroll down a little bit further. Again, 15 and 16 items are blue. We're not going to take those any further. 17 is green, and 18, 19, 20, and 21 are all blue. We're going to leave the rest of these alone as is. And that's all there is to getting some basic security on your website, so it's not as easy for hackers to gain access and take over the site on you. Each one of these areas that we went through, you can go through these tabs one by one and make some more tweaks and changes if you like. Each one of these do tie back to the dashboard. And we did take a look inside some of those tabs for the things that we did change. But that's it. That's it for locking down your WordPress installation. Now, I do have one other plugin that I like using. And we're going to go back over to the left-hand side, scroll down to plugins, and we're going to add new again. Now, this particular plugin is called Sucuri Security, and that's an S-U-C-C-U-R-I. I have a tendency of trying to spell it like you would spell security, and you get something totally different, but it's S-U-C-U-R-I, and we're going to search plugins. And once again, it is the one on the very top, and this is a malware scanner. Every once in a while, you're going to want to scan your site to make sure that you haven't been infected with anything, because if Google or other search engines detect that your site has been compromised with malware, they will blacklist you and put you in a sandbox, and nobody will find your site through search engines if you've been infected with malware. So we're going to install this plugin and say okay, that yes, we want to install it. And again, it downloaded, unpacked, installed, and now we have to activate by clicking the Activate Plugin link. So that added the Sucuri Security to our list of plugins, and you can see it also added it over to the left-hand side. So now if we click on Sucuri Security on the left-hand side of our dashboard, it'll bring up the dashboard for that particular plugin. And what you can do is scan the site for the first time by clicking this big blue button. Now, this being a brand new site, it should not find any problems. And then it comes back and it gives you all of the information that it found while doing the scan. And it says no malware was identified, no malicious JavaScript, iframes, suspicious redirections, there's no black hat SEO going on, and your anomaly detection is clean. These are all good things. It also goes through and checks various sites that are able to detect whether or not your website is clean, and you can see we have a clean status all the way down the line here, and our site is blacklist free. Nobody is blocking our site. And then down at the very bottom, it's just confirming that we are on the latest version of WordPress, the PHP, and that we're running on Apache. So now if your website had been compromised in any way, you can always come up here to find out more about what to do if your website is infected and has been blacklisted by Google. But that's it. 2 simple plugins. Your WordPress installation is now secure, and you know that you have a way of making sure that you don't pick up any malware, and you'll know whether or not you've been blacklisted by Google. Thank you for watching and listening to another session from How to Start a Website 2.0. This episode is just one of many available inside my online course. Register for free today at howtostartawebsite2.com/thevault.